when I look back on the things that I manifested, I realize it's all been the same thing, right? So I'm heavy on Reddit. Like, I talk to people on Reddit all day. I talk to people on Reddit all day. And I realized, like, before this stuff, I wasn't getting it the way I got that, the way I get it now. And I think even as I go on further, I'll get even more of a clear perspective. But I was always so frustrated because I would get results and then I couldn't replicate it, like by doing the exact same thing or what I thought was the exact same thing. I couldn't replicate it. So like one day I would get money out of nowhere and then I'd try to replicate it and then it wouldn't happen. And I'd be like, what the heck? Like, I did the exact same thing. Why is it not working? Like, that's been like the past 3 years of me understanding the law. And it's so interesting when I look at my old YouTube videos, most of which I've archived, not for that reason, but because I was just trying to like do something different. But which I probably will archive this video if it ever comes out. I probably will, because like my hair is crazy. But I archived it because a lot of those things I don't even believe anymore. This shit is so simple. And I used to get frustrated when I heard people say that too, because I'm like, what do you mean it's simple? Like, I'm trying. It's really like, I gotta do this, gotta do this. And I was never really even like a technique person for real, because I'm low-key, high-key lazy. So I'm like, I don't want to do something every day. I don't do nothing every day, like, except for like, what, brush my teeth, or like maybe, I was about to say, I can't even say I eat every day, because I don't. So like, to be like, oh, you gotta fall asleep thinking about, bro, when I get into bed, I want to go to sleep, or I'm gonna be on my phone. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I need something that fits me. And if everybody is able to do it, it has to be something that's so simple that everyone can do it. Everybody can't script. You know what I mean? Like, everybody don't have hands. If you think about it, if it's like, oh, in order for you to have this manifestation, you have to dance. Everybody don't got legs. So how could it be for everybody? It has to be something that everybody can do. Even visualizing. Like, I don't know how visualizing works for people that have aphantasia. Thank God I'm not one of them, because my God, I love visualizing. It's like basically my favorite mode of experiencing what I want to experience in imagination. So the things that when I look back at the things that I successfully manifested, I realized I was doing the same thing. I just didn't realize that I was doing it when I was doing it. So what is that one thing? What is buying the pearl? So as of right now, my understanding of buying the pearl of great price, if you don't know, you can look up Neville Goddard and see what he means by buying the pearl, is to believe that imagination is real and that the things that you experience, and I have to credit Edward Art Supply Hands and his YouTube channel for helping me to come to that realization, that it's not like thinking in terms of manifesting something is in itself a block. Because 9 times out of 10, when you're talking about manifesting something, you're talking about seeing it actualized in the 3D, and that's like the final step. And that is the wrong mindset, in my opinion, from my experience. If you're getting success, do you, boo-boo. But for me, it's not manifesting. It's experiencing. It's like the perfect word for it. Listening to Edward Art explain it. He has a video. I'm gonna link it below. It's one of my favorite videos. I'll listen to that over and over and over and over again. It's called Don't Try But Experience, right? Don't try to manifest something. When you're trying to manifest something, you're basically waiting for it to be fulfilled in front of you. When you're experiencing something in imagination, you're literally living it in your head, and that's the difference. So what I can remember from all the other manifestations, the things that I experienced here in the 3D that I wanted to, and things that I didn't want to. If we keeping it a buck, the things that I was heartbroken about, the people that abandoned me and all the stuff, the failures and the losses that I experienced that up here first, and I felt it to a degree where I was like, oh, this is literally affecting my body. Like all of last year, bro, it was bad. Like I was depressed every day. I was sad. Anytime I thought about a particular thing or particular people, I used to literally feel anxiety in my body. Like, and I wasn't doing anything. I was in my bed doing nothing, but I was in my head living traumatic moments over and over and over and over again. So what was happening was it was being projected, it was being depicted and experienced not only up here but out here. And what I feel like is missing from all these elaborate things that these coaches be telling you and whatever, all these videos and stuff like that, like it's actually very simple. You're doing things in your imagination. People are leaving that word out, imagination. Like they're like, oh, don't worry about what's going on out here. You already have it. Where do I have it? No, we know you don't have it in the 3D. People are forgetting to add that on there. And that's why I say I credit Edward Art for like his videos for helping me to get this level of understanding, because it used to piss me off when people are like, you don't need to get it. You already have it. And I'd be saying like, where do I have it? Because it ain't here. No, it's not here. It's here. And because people trivialize the imagination, they don't take it as seriously, right? Or they don't take it as serious, right? So they'll, and I used to do this too. They'll live whatever they wanted to live. They'll have whatever they wanted to have in their heads, and they'll feel good, and they'll feel the relief, and they'll feel the satisfaction, and their body will open up, and it's like, ah. And then they'll look for it. Oh, I felt it real up here. Oh, it's so fulfilled up here. I have the man that I want. I have the woman that I want. I have the job, the apartment, the money. I have everything I want up here. Oh, I feel so good. I'm going to go to sleep. And then you wake up in the next morning. And it might not happen right away, but like over time, you're starting to get frustrated because the 3D is like, you don't have this. You don't have this. And you're like, dang, you're right. I don't have this. No, you do have it, but it's up here. So let's go back to my Costa Rica trip, right? So my best friend's boyfriend asked me, he was trying to put on a big birthday trip for her, because he takes her away every year for her birthday. I haven't seen this girl on her birthday in mad long, like probably since we first started being friends, and that was like 10 years ago. So every year he asked her to go, he takes her on a trip somewhere, and this year he chose Costa Rica. And he hit me up about it, and I was like, I would love to go. I always say that, like, I would love to do this, I would love to do that. Yeah, sure, I'm down. Knowing I don't have no money for that. I always just be like, this year was like the year of yes. Yes, I'll go. And I've been going. I ain't got no job. I ain't got nothing. But I'm realizing that I actually don't need it. But that's another video for another day. But anyway. So he's like, hey, I would love for you to come, spend her birthday with her, surprise her, or whatever. I'm like, I would love to go. Not a flat out no, not a yes, I'll put the money down right away. But I was just like, whatever. So he was sending me the information, whatever. He was sending me the information, and I'm looking at the stuff, and I'm like, total price for me, my own room and everything, the flight, all the stuff on Expedia would be about $1,000. Let's say it's like I think it was like $970, $969 or something like that. And I remember talking to my mom about it, just talking to her about it, and she was like, oh, when you get all the information, yeah, this was before I had the price. She was like, when you get all the information, let me know, and we'll see what we can do. I don't know. She was feeling in a good mood that day. So I was like, really? Okay. I was shocked because I was like, I did not expect her to even blink in the direction of paying for my trip. Okay. So fast forward, like, I get the information. He definitely wants to go to Costa Rica. That he told me the hotel he wanted to stay at and all this other stuff. So I did all that, got all that information. I brought it back to my mom. My mom act like she ain't never heard nothing about no Costa Rica. Never said anything like that, as expected. So I'm like, okay, whatever. Days and weeks are going by now. Days and weeks are going by now, and I'm like, dang, like, I would love to really go. I haven't been on a trip in general in mad long. I think the last trip I went on, like an actual trip, I think it was with my best friend, but we went to like Universal Studios, and I think I was like, that was like 2 years ago, and it was a while ago, and I had never been out the country. I'm like, I got my passport in 2019 because I thought I was about to be seeing the world in 2020. No, I was sitting myself home like everybody else. But yeah, and I was trying to do the whole flight attendant thing. That's another thing. For like 30 years I've been trying to be a flight attendant. It's not working out. I think I'm done. But yeah, so I was just like really excited about the idea of it. But the facts were the facts. I had no bread for that. And my mother was saying that too. She was like, even if I give you like $1,000, like, you really want to spend it on the trip that you're gonna spend like 4 or 5 days out there when you have bills to like take care of. And I was like, yes I would. I'm always down for like an experience versus paying a bill. Always. I don't care. That's just me. But yeah, so I was like, I want to do that, but she was kind of like just dragging her feet on it. And so I was like, I want to go, but I don't want to ask my mom for the money. I really don't, because like, I don't, like, if you have, let me get close to the camera. If you have parents like that, where like they'll do something for you, and then it's like they gonna keep bringing that shit up. It's like, I'd rather you not even like do anything for me. You know what I mean? Like, I'd rather you not even, cause she's back there. So it's like, I'd rather you not even like do anything for me, cause you gonna keep bringing that shit up about how like you did that for me. I don't like that. So I was like, I'd rather just go for free, right? Cause like I'm sitting here in my head like, if I'm on this trip, I might as well like go for broke. I might as well just imagine being there, having not had to pay for it, right? So I was toying around with the idea of me surprising my friend. Like, what would that look like? And in my head, I'm just like, oh, maybe I'll walk up to the door and be like, oh, room service. And then she opened the door and it's me. Surprise! You know what I mean? Like, that's not how it happened, but that's what I was toying with in my head the whole time. So I would just visualize, because it felt good to like replay that, like, oh, she gonna be so surprised. But also like the fact that I was even able to surprise her, because she's nosy and she had my location, so I had to make up like some story to tell her why I turned off my location and all that other stuff. But yeah, she's a Virgo. She's very like if you know, like, if you have a Virgo in your life, like, trying to pull one over on her is like kind of, it's not really a thing you do. So I'm getting so much joy and so much like, I'm like, oh, that would be so cool. That would be so nice. That's another gateway to having feelings of like the wish fulfilled. Oh, that would be so nice if I've noticed that when I like use those words and let the feelings come through me, shit moves. But yeah, so I was doing a visualization of that, right? Just because it was fun, not because I was trying to do something, but I liked that feeling. And I remember writing in my journal, and I said that August 25th. And now my best friend's birthday is the 8th. And I'm like, yo, the closer we get to this date, the higher the prices of everything is gonna be. So even if out the blue I get $1,000, it's probably gonna be even more than that. Not even taking into account the money that I would have to spend over there. Like, cause I'm just trying to get there and have a place to stay when I get there, right? So not even taking into account other stuff. Trying to get there. And I'm like, and I remember I wrote in my journal, I'm like, from where I was straight with it. From where I'm sitting, it does not look like I'm gonna be able to go on this trip. I was very careful about that word, the words that I use. Not because it really made any difference, but I always want to leave the possibility open that things can change. But from where I'm sitting right now, your girl is broke. So let's keep that clear. Like, I feel like when it comes to like manifesting and stuff, I don't care what words you use, but if the feeling is this ain't that, and you trying to make it seem like this is that, for me, it ain't gonna work. Like, y'all talk about being delusional. Hey man, being delulu is the salulu, and that's true. But if you're really out here trying to pretend like this chair right here is pink and you know it's brown, you bugging, right? The thing that I think I did the best in this situation, and once again I credit Edward Art. If you do not know who that man is, go find his YouTube channel right now and listen to everything. I might, you know what, if you watch this, I might even link my personal Edward Art playlist of all like my favorites. And I haven't even listened to everything on his channel, but I have about 30 videos that I will run. And that's another thing. That's what I was doing for like a month or two straight, just playing his stuff. I would go in between watching Half and Half reruns, because I love Half and Half, my favorite show on Netflix, and they're taking it away, which is like, what is wrong with you guys? Like, why can't black people have anything? Anyway, I would go between watching Half and Half reruns all day and letting my Edward Art playlist loop, and it's about 30 videos, and some of them are like 30 minutes long. But I let it play because it need to sink in. Like, let that sink in. I was just thinking about the sink meme where the sink was standing outside the door, and it was like, let that sink in. Anyway, what was I saying? Oh, dang, I forgot what I was saying. I might have to edit this, because I was like, yeah, whatever. I'll just go back. From my perspective, it's like, acknowledge that. I think that's what I was saying. Acknowledge that your 3D ain't ish. Like, people be so scared to be like, yo, my life experience right now is trash. Not me. I'll be like, bro, this is whack. Like, I don't have no job. I don't have no man. I don't have my own apartment yet. Like, everything is trash. Like, not everything is trash, but like, don't be afraid to accept that. Because as much as everything is one, it's legit separate. Like, I believe that everything is like intertwined and everything, if you allow it to be. But let's be clear, up here is a whole different ball game than down here. So it's okay to accept, yo, this is trash. Like, I don't like the situation I'm living in right now. But when you're up here in your head and in your imagination, that's where you can have everything. That's where you're limitless. That's where nothing can stop you. Get in a habit of like having what you want without trying to make it make sense, right? Because back to my Costa Rica trip, how would it make sense for me to go on an international trip and not pay a dime? That don't make sense. That's not realistic. That's straight delusional. But if I'm already doing it up here, it's already done. So I feel like people's perspective needs to switch when you start taking your imagination and what goes on upside your head, not upside your head, inside your head more seriously, and you're more careful about the thoughts that you allow to linger. That's when things change. People downplay your imagination, and that is the worst thing you can do, because the imagination is your tool. However way you get to what it is that you get to. Me, sometimes I'll hear people saying certain things. I'll visualize. I'll just have like random thoughts like, oh yeah, I'm this. Oh, I'm magnetic. Oh, these niggas love me. Oh, these niggas been thinking about me all day. Listen, I can run. Like, nigga, dudes, please. Like, if I really want to be married tomorrow, I could. Let's just set that right there. Cause hey, love you, girl. I mean, some of them might be watching right now. Like, you know. But don't sleep. Because I'm just magnetic. Why? Because I decided that I was so, and I'll run that tape in my head over and over and over and over again. So I'm telling you to like get in the habit of like making your imagination your safe space. I say that all the time. Once I started doing that, like, it's a lot of things that you'll piece together, but the very first thing you need to do in order to buy the pearl and like start changing your life bit by bit and start seeing this stuff up here being reflected out here is to acknowledge that imagination is the big homie. To put that in like plain lingo. Don't be like, oh, it's just my imagination. That can never happen. Wrong. Shit could happen. And it has happened. Because when you start thinking about how limitless your mind really is, like, you go crazy. All the ideas of stuff, like when you get into the habit of ignoring that voice that'll be like, oh, but you can't do it this way, or you can't do it that way, or that's not how it is. When you be like, wait, in my imagination, everything can be whatever I want it to be. It doesn't have to make sense. That's the thing. Like, making sense is an earthly, like, mental process. Being logical is a byproduct of looking at the 3D. If I want to fly in my imagination, that doesn't necessarily mean that I want to fly out here, but I can. I mean, if I want to grow wings on my back in imagination and fly around my room, I can do that in imagination. That's the type of unrestrictions or lack of restrictions that you need to have in your mind when it comes to thinking about the things that you want, the things that you want to experience. And yes, we live in a 3D world, right? Like, we're using our senses and all that other stuff. Well, I don't even want to say we live in a 3D world, because everything that we see out here is just being shifted through the perspective of our mental. Like, somebody give you $100. Somebody can put $100 in front of 5 people, and each one will have a different perspective of what that $100 means. Does it actually mean anything? No. There's no inherent meaning in anything we doing out here. It's all based on what we perceiving or what we see. Like me, I'm looking at myself, I'm like, my hair is crazy. There's probably somebody watching me like, dang, I wish I had that. Period. Somebody looking at me like, dang, I wish my hair was that long. Dang, I wish my hair was that short. Dang, I wish my hair was that black. Dang, I wish my hair was that thick. Like, dang, I wish my hair was that strong. You know what I mean? Like, all it is just hair, but I have my own perception of it. And other people, oh, somebody invited me to a party. I would love to go. But yeah, like, it's all what you perceiving. Like this water bottle can mean a million things to a million different people. Some people is like, oh my gosh, she has water just sitting on her desk, so readily available. Wow, I wish I could live that life. One person is like, wow, how dare she have a plastic water bottle? Does she know that plastic is killing everything in the ocean? One person is like, I could never have that water sitting there because I'm so clumsy. It would just spill all over and just mean disaster for all of my electronics. You know what I mean? Like, nothing has an inherent meaning. It's just a thing, and we're putting our perceptions and perspectives on it. But anyway, because I be talking so much because I love talking. Back to Costa Rica. So I'm in my journal and I'm like, from where I'm sitting, it doesn't look like I'm able to. You know what? Let me get my journal right now. Oh, I just realized. So my nephew, this is my journal. So my nephew actually took a pen a couple years ago and drew on my book. I was so mad. Ooh, I was so mad. But you can't even really see it no more. That's crazy. I was so mad about that. I don't know how or when it like started rubbing up. Like if you zoom in, like you could kind of see it. Like he just drew. Like it took a pen and just drew. Like what are you doing? What? I was so mad. But you can barely see anymore. That's cool. Cause I did not like that. And I still got mad pages in my journal to like finish writing. But let's go back. August 25th. Right? And honestly, I knew I turned 33 in May this year. And I knew this year was gonna be, I just knew it was gonna be a transformative year in like one way or the other. And I'm so glad that I was right. Anyway, okay. August 25th. From where I'm sitting, it does not seem like I'm gonna, from where I'm sitting, when I get tired, I just like scribble, like it's kind of hard to read my handwriting. From where I'm sitting, it does not seem like I'm gonna go on a trip with Brittany for her birthday, but who knows? Maybe I'll visualize some more just because it's fun, and then we'll get to write about it in my journal. That was August 25th, 2023. August 31st, 2023. 2 days. 2 days after I wrote the previous entry about visualizing for fun, it was arranged for me to go to Costa Rica completely on someone else's dime and not my mom's. Game changer. I think I bought the pearl, y'all. Didn't tell you. And that's how it went. Like, so what happened was, I'm talking to, I don't remember what the conversation was like, but I remember my best friend's boyfriend, he hit me. He was like, oh, I remember telling him, I was like, I don't think she's gonna give me that money, and honestly I don't want to keep asking her for it. Like I already told her, like if money in my account, it ain't happening. And I kind of was just like resolved to just sit this one out. And that was the 27th we had this conversation. He was like, yeah, so my friend, he works for Delta Airlines. So he was like, yeah, he offered to pay for your room, and he'll put you on his like list for like flights, like a confirmed seat, and he'll pay for your flight to go back home. Okay. And I met his friend a couple times. Like, we all have hung out together over the years, but this is the first time I'm seeing or hearing of him in mad years. Like, I don't remember the last time. I think the last time I seen him was, when he drove me home after our trip to Universal Studios, like 2 years ago. He drove me home that day, because him and her boyfriend came to get me and my best friend from the airport, and then he wound up driving me home. I think that was the last time I saw him. No way did I even, first of all, I didn't even know he was going. I didn't know anything about that. I thought it was just gonna be Alan, which is my best friend's boyfriend, him, my best friend Brittany, and me and other female friends. But this is the thing, like, you never know what's what, which is why a lot of times they be like, don't try to figure out the how, just go straight to the end result. The end result was me surprising my best friend and having that feeling like, I got you, you know what I mean? Like, that was the end result. How it got there, who gives a crap? Like, I knew it wasn't gonna be nothing bad, because I don't think in that way, at least not anymore. I used to be like, oh my god, worst case scenario, but I've built up a practice of like best case scenarios thinking, so that's what I be on, and stuff just be falling out the sky for me. Thank God. I feel charmed, I feel chosen, divinely charmed, divinely chosen. So I didn't even know he was supposed to be going. So that was the first time he had mentioned it to me. And one thing that I try to practice when my thinking of like experiencing things and manifesting, I always want it to be mutually beneficial for every person that's involved. Like, I don't want me getting something to have to stop you from getting something that you want. You know, like, if this is an infinite universe and there's so much abundance everywhere, like, I want everybody to get what they want in addition to me getting what I want. Like, I don't want to have to sacrifice for you to get what you want. I don't want you to have to sacrifice to get what I want, which is why I wanted to go on this trip without having my mom pay, because I didn't want her to be like, oh, I'm paying for you to go on a trip, and like, I ain't been on a trip, and keep your money, and I'll use my brain to get it another way. And so with this particular situation, I wasn't aware that the friend, Norm, he had already booked, right? Because he was under the impression that a bunch of other people were going. And then, well, this is from what I remember being told. He was under the impression that a bunch of other people were going. And then he found out that basically everybody that was supposed to go dropped, or they was just like, they canceled. You know what I mean? Like, they just couldn't go. So he was like, bro, like, I already took off the days. I already paid my stuff. I don't want to be a third wheel. So I guess when he found out about me wanting to go, but I'm broke, he was like, F it, I'll just pay. Because it's cheaper to just, like, he's not going to lose all his money. It's cheaper to just add on for my room and put me on his flight. He didn't have to pay for that. So that makes sense, right? There's no way. There's no way that I could have ever came up with it. And even if I did come up with it, who's to say that that would have been something that a dude would have went for? And we all had a great time. He wasn't a creep or nothing. Like, he wasn't trying to like get with me, and he wasn't. We just all had fun. Like, we went on the ATV. We went on the ATVs. Didn't have to pay for that. We did rafting, which I was scared to death. I wound up getting on the front of the raft, like, they called it a bull rider. I was the only one that did that. Like, the only one. They didn't get it on tape. I don't know why. Nobody took a picture of that. But whatever. But I did it. My friends could tell you, I ain't lying. I sat on the front. The water was smacking me in the face. I was scared my glasses was gonna come off. I floated it in the river next to iguanas. and it was like black vultures around. That was kind of creepy. Immediately regretted it once I hit the water, but I did it. You know what I mean? Like we did a couple of things. Like we went to a farm. Like it was like mad. It was mad cute. We hiked up and got to see a volcano and all. Well, it was mad foggy that day. We needed to see the volcano because rainy season. But we did actually get to see the volcano. Took pictures and all. You know what I mean? Like we saw mad stuff. It was really fun. I didn't have to pay for any of that. People paid for me the whole trip. Like, I was charging stuff to the room. And then somebody paid for the room. Like, this is what I'm saying. Like, this is the type of stuff that you can only imagine. So, why not just do that? And to be completely honest, the crazy thing that I've actually heard about, but when I started to experience it, I was like, whoa. The days leading up to the trip, because I had experienced the trip in my head so much, I wasn't even excited. I'm not lying to you. I felt like I'd already done it several times. So I was dragging my feet on doing a lot of stuff in preparation for the trip. One, I don't like doing laundry anyway. I don't really like chores in general. I definitely don't like doing laundry, but the best way to get me to do my laundry is for me to book a trip. So I'll be doing it. But I was dragging my feet on like I was waiting till the very last minute to pack. Like I was dragging my feet on everything because I felt like I had already gone the trip and I was ready to come back. And low key, and I told this to one of my other best friends too, I was happy to be home. Like when I came home, that coming home was a whole thing in itself. But when I got home, like I was happy to be home, to see my parents, see my sister. Like I was happy to be back home in my home environment. And that was so different because like any other trip, I mean in general, like people have trips like they be wanting to stay where they're at, and the hotel was beautiful. Like we didn't have no like mishaps or nothing. I mean it was dripping a little bit in my hotel room, but that wasn't really nothing. But I was happy to be home. So this whole experience was kind of like wow. Like, and let me tell you, the last time I had got on a plane, when I flew to Atlanta for my last flight attendant interview, I was like, I want to be first class and I want to fly first class for free. Let me tell you how that happened. So, I don't know if y'all know about Abdullah, however you want to say that man's name. Much respect to him. So I'll just say Abdullah. He was Neville Goddard's teacher. And there's the whole popular story about how Neville Goddard wanted to, was trying to go back to Barbados or whatever. He didn't have no money. He didn't have nothing. And he had only booked a one-way trip to, he was in New York, I think. He had only booked a one-way trip or whatever. He wanted to go back to Barbados, back home with his family. He ain't had no money. And Abdullah was trying to teach him, like, bro, you are in Barbados. And I remember Neville was saying, like, he wanted to go first class on the, it wasn't a plane, it was a ship or whatever. He wanted to go first class on the ship. And, like, he ain't have no tickets, he ain't have nothing, whatever. Abdullah was telling him, yo, you went to Barbados and you went first class. Like, he kept just telling him that. And Neville wasn't really jacking it. He was like, wait, how am I supposed to do this? Whatever. He kept coming back to Abdullah's apartment. Abdullah literally had to, like, slam the door in his face. He was like, what are you doing here? You're in Barbados and you flew first class. Slam the door in his face. That was in my head for a minute. Like, even after I knew I was going, I was like, I would love to fly first class. That would be mad cool. And I'm sitting here like, how could I possibly? But this is the thing that you need to know. Like, even when you get it, you're still going to be in your head like, how could I possibly do this? Like, how could I do that? You know what I'm saying? Like, just because you get it, it doesn't mean that you're not still a human. It's just your job to, like, keep going back to the thoughts like, oh no, I got this. My imagination is where it's at. And my imagination is the big homie. So I can always go back to my imagination and have whatever I want in imagination. So when I was having those thoughts, I was like, yeah, that might be true, but in my imagination, I'm in first class. Baby, don't you know I was in first class? Don't you know I was in first class? This I could have never predicted either. So we get to the airport and we are running behind. And they pushed our gate back further than what it was supposed to. I'm literally running for a plane. I've never had to run for a plane ever in my life. I always get to the airport like minimum an hour and a half early. I'm always sitting there waiting. Because I get so much anxiety, like, about possibly missing a flight. I've never missed a flight, thank God. Knock on wood, I never miss a flight, right? So I'm riding with Brittany's boyfriend's best friend, Norm, and he's a Delta employee. So, like, you know, we chilling out and taking our time, but that was the bad move. That was a bad move because they changed our gate. And TSA took forever. I had never been on a TSA line that long. Like, it was like 4 agents open. And we talking about JFK, like mad people. And it was like 4 a.m. when we were out there. So I don't know why was so many people out there going somewhere that early, but it was mad people. It took mad long. We wound up running. We literally got there with like 1 minute. I was literally the last person on the plane. Never in my life have I ever experienced that. Anyway, so we had our seats. I think my seat was like 16 something, like whatever it was. It wasn't, I hate being all the way in the back. And I love me a window seat. But my seat was fine. Like, it wasn't bad, but it wasn't first class. When we went through the thing with our passports and all the other stuff, they upgraded my friend's seat to first class. He's a Delta employee. We were flying Delta. So if there was first class open, they upgraded him. Why they didn't upgrade me and him when there was 2 empty seats, I don't know. And I don't care. But I was telling him, I'm like, bro, I never ever had to run I was out of breath and everything. I hadn't slept, because when I have a very early flight, I don't be sleeping the night before. I just get up, do what I gotta do, and I'll say I'll sleep on the plane, which never happens. But I'm delusional like that. I'll fall asleep on the plane. I'm not falling asleep on the plane. But yeah, so we walk in, and I'm like, I never had to run for a plane, like, ever. Like, I'm like, see, flying with you is different, because like I had to run for a plane. I was so annoyed, but I like fake annoyed. Like, I wasn't like really annoyed, but I was like, bro, I never had to do this. So he was like, oh, maybe this will make it up to you, and he gave me his ticket, his first class ticket. So he sat in my seat, and I sat in the seat that they reassigned to him at the very last minute. 4D, right? And it's crazy because it was 2 seats in that row and there was nobody next to me, but they didn't let him upgrade, which is okay with me, because I kind of just wanted to be up there by myself anyway, to just like enjoy the experience and not talk, which is exactly what happened. I was watching The Blackening. I had my window seat. Well, I had every seat because it was those 2. And I asked for a glass of orange juice. The lady was like, would you like your pre-flight beverage? And I was like, no, thank you. I was tripping because I should have got something then. But the lady came back around and she was like, oh, do you want a beverage or whatever? I was like, oh, can I have an orange juice? That was the first thing that came in my head. So I get a text from my friend, and he's like, oh, enjoy the alcohol for me. And I was like, can we make that orange juice a mimosa? She was like, of course. And she kept on coming. Yeah, that was nice. But it was a really quick flight anyway. So, and coming back, I got upgraded too. It would have been first class from basically where I was sitting because I was in row 6. That's another thing. Let me tell you about that. So, coming back was a hassle. They canceled our flight, original direct flight back, and I wound up having to get on a flight to Florida and then from Florida to New York. Whatever. It was crazy. Literally spent a whole extra, like, 16 hours in Costa Rica. Whatever. I didn't get home until like 2 days later. Whatever. Anyway. So, for the flight, I was on by myself. JetBlue had rebooked my flight. And my friends actually wound up flying United, paying bread. I mean, they got their money back, thank God. But I'm never flying JetBlue again. Just putting that out there. Not only did they not hire me, even though they gave me a CJO. Anyway, so might have to edit that out. So it was one of those situations where I didn't have a seat until I went to the gate. So I went to the gate, gave my passport, did all that other stuff. Girl, what was my ticket? My ticket was like 26D. Whatever it was the very last row. Right before the bathrooms. I was not feeling that at all. And so after I got it, I went back to the gate agent and I'm like, is there any way that you can move me up? Please. Like, I do not want to be in the back. And she was like, oh, well, all the only seats that are left are like paid upgrade seats. So that was the only one that was like available. And I was like, all right, fine, I'll deal with it. I sat back down. In my head though, I was sitting there because my best friend was waiting with me for me to board because I was supposed to board before she did. Wound up literally not doing that, but whatever. In my head, I was like, I got upgraded. I know I got upgraded. I'm like, oh, I'm gonna tell everybody how I got upgraded going to Costa Rica and coming up. That's all I was doing it in my head. Like, oh yeah, I got upgraded. Oh yeah, I forgot I got upgraded. Like, I just kept doing that. It didn't have to make sense. It doesn't matter. All that matters is total self-persuasion. Like, if you can persuade yourself that something is the way that you're thinking it is, the world is your oyster. So that's what I was doing the whole time. I was sitting there like, I got upgraded. Like, I don't have to worry about that. I got upgraded. Knowing damn well my ticket said 26 some, and I think it was a middle seat or aisle seat. And I was like, but yeah, it was just like 26. Okay, so I'm sitting there about to doze out, like I'm staring off into space or whatever. And I hear the gate agent lady say my name over the loudspeaker thing. Mind you, she's standing like right there. So I don't know why she did all that. Because she could have just walked over and been like, hey, whatever. She said my name. I get up, I go over there. It's a couple who got kids. The dad had a ticket in row 6, but the rest of them had tickets for seats in the back. They dang near begged me to switch. Like, this is what I'm talking about. Like when I experience stuff out here, like get what I want it to be a situation where it's good for everybody that's involved. Like, they basically like needed me to switch. They basically like needed me to switch, and the gate agent already knew what I was gonna say, but she looked at me like, can you switch with them? And they were like, please. And I'm like, yes. Like, are you insane? Like, Absolutely. I was so excited. I said yes. I sat down before I even took the actual like ticket. And then I got back up and I was like, oh, thank you. I got a ticket. But like, this is what I'm talking about. You can acknowledge. I just looked at how long this video is, but whatever. If y'all gonna listen, y'all gonna listen because y'all gonna learn something. You can acknowledge that things are jacked up out here. And that's what they talk about when you say leave the world alone. Like you're in that world, but you're like not of the world. Like you could be in the midst of some crazy stuff. But if up here, you're configuring life to be the way that you want it to be, oh baby, it's gonna move. But that's the thing. Your goal isn't to make things move. Things moving around and changing for you in the 3D is the byproduct of what you're doing. Your end goal should be self-persuasion. Being in your head all the time. Having things go the way you want it to go in your head and in your head only. Because when you look out here, you're like, I'm trying to do this. I'm trying to make things move out here. That's where you get jacked up. And I guarantee you, if you go back to like all the manifestations that you actually did experience, you'll see, oh yeah, I was in my head about it. I let it go. And that's another thing. I might have to like make more videos about the things that I talk about here, because they talk about letting go and detaching. It's not like you're ignoring or like no longer acknowledging what's going on in front of you. Yeah, you're saying this is crap. But up here, like in imagination, people need to write in imagination in all caps and everything that they explain about the law, because they're leaving that part out and people are getting confused. No, you're not doing anything out here. It's all being done up here. There's no time up here. Everything is now, right? There's no future. There's no past. So even when it comes to like a callback to one of my first YouTube videos about this stuff, memories and visualizations, like it's the same thing. Like it's all happening now. So if you're taking a memory that hurt you and you're thinking about it now. So it's going to affect you right now. Like there's no time. Anything you're doing up here is an imaginal act. You're thinking, you're wondering, you're noticing. That's an imaginal act. It's all the same process. So like start treating it like it's like, start treating it like it's as important. I love this brow thingy. Start treating it as if it's as important as you think it is, as it actually is. Because like when you start playing around with your imagination, and not in a good way, when you start playing around with it like, oh, I would love to do that, but it can never happen because this is what life looks like right now, that's when you limit yourself. There's no limits in imagination. You can literally do, have, be, experience anything, and it doesn't have to make sense. Stop trying to make stuff make sense. Like you try to make it make sense, and then that's where you go wrong. The imagination is not the place where things have to make sense. You envision and experience, like literally experience. If you want to go on a beach in your head, you better be barefoot, toes out in the sand. It don't matter like if it's freezing cold where you are right now. Literally experience it, feel it. And I will say this, with the upgrade thing, I had my doubts. I'm not gonna lie to you. I didn't have like a super vivid imagination thing. Like my thoughts were hella sloppy, which is why I'll be surprised now, because like now that I've like gotten that basic premise that the imagination is the big homie, I realize how little effort it takes to actually bring something to fruition. I think that's what the Bible was talking about faith of a mustard seed. If you could just keep bringing yourself back to the fact, oh yeah, I did this already. That's something that I kept saying too when I would visualize from my trip. I'm Like, oh yeah, I did the trip already. Oh, remember? And then I'll go back and like relive that thing. And it didn't have to always be super specific. It wasn't always the same scene. It was kind of the same feeling though. Like, oh, I did it. Like, ooh, it's so crazy because I was just explaining this to myself the other day. The gap between getting it and not getting it is big. But when you finally make that jump, it's instant. Like, I don't know if any of y'all have ever done like edibles or anything like that. I'm not telling you to, but if you have, first time you took it and it wasn't like OD, for me, anytime I take it, it hits me mid conversation. So I'll just be sitting there talking, and then like there's like a switch that's like, ooh, like it's like, ooh. That's kind of like how it feels in my head. That's how it felt when I realized what I was doing and what the law really was talking about. So when you get it, and I hope this like inch you closer, if not catapulted you over to the get it side and making it click. But like, when you get it, you'll get it. And I want everybody to feel it, because this feeling is hella freeing. And like, I think it helps you just be chill. I'm like so much more relaxed, even though not much has changed in the 3D. But like up here it's really my big homie. Like, it's really my safe space. Stuff be happening. Like, I done had so many manifestations within the past week. People that wasn't talking to me, can't stay away from me. People I don't even really know like that are like basically like calling me their bestie and stuff like just certain things that I'm like, I want somebody to say this. Let me go in my head and see them text me. Let me go in my head and hear them say these words, and they're doing it. But that's because my end goal isn't for them to do it out here. My end goal is to have them do it up here. But okay, if y'all watching this, if I even uploaded this, that's crazy. But if you made it to this part, like, listen, I do offer email correspondence. Now, let me tell you this. If y'all want to do coaching, like email correspondence, that's all I'm offering right now, because I like typing. Y'all gonna pay, like, for real. And not because I need the money, because we already established I'm good. But because I need you to take it dumb seriously. And I feel like if I make you pay, and you actually come up out your pockets a significant amount, you're gonna do the work. If I offer you something for free 99, because I know, because I do it. If I offer you something for free 99, you ain't really tripping about, you know, whether it work or not. I mean, of course you would want it to work, but if it don't, you're like, If I make you pay and you come up out your pockets a couple $100, which you will if you want me to coach you, you come up out your pocket a couple $100, you're going to follow everything that I said. You're going to hold me accountable. You're going to hold yourself accountable. And that's the type of relationship that I want. So if you want me to help you coach and do all that other stuff, I am very happy to do that. I don't mind it. I told you I ain't got no job, so I got time. And I love talking about stuff like this. I love typing about it. You can catch me on Reddit in the Neville Goddard sub. I'm not gonna tell you my name, but if you know, you know. And if you come across it, you'll be like, oh, that's, you know what I mean? Like, it's very clear. But yeah, like, I get it. Like, I get it, and I'm happy I get it, because now I feel like, oh, I can literally do and experience everything. So I'm gonna put all the Edward videos down in the description, and I want y'all to check it out. And I really want y'all to do this work, because some of y'all be struggling and y'all don't have to. Like, there's no struggle in imagination. only struggle is you telling yourself there's struggle up here. Yeah, there could be struggle out here. Let's not get it twisted. The 3D can be jacked up. But up here, there are no limits up here except for the limits that you put. Because if you're looking at stuff down here and you're like, oh, I can't do this because this person said this, and you're bringing that 3D occurrence into your head, that's you. That's your fault. That's not them. That's you. Because in your head, can't nobody say nothing that you don't want them to say. Can't nobody think nothing that you don't want them to think in your head. But you're giving people free will in your head. Heck no. People gonna say what I tell them to say up here. Out here, they gonna do whatever they gonna do. But up here, they gonna do what I say. And you can't do nothing about it. Like, if you want me to be talking sexy to you in your imagination, that's what you gonna do in your head. Don't do that. I mean, but I can't stop you. It's your imagination. It's your head. If you want me to be talking to you like I love you and all this other stuff, and you imagine that, I can't do nothing about that. That's in your head. You know what I mean? Like, I can't go reach in your head and be like, stop making me say that. No. So stop giving other people other circumstances. If you want the car that's parked outside of your house every day to go from being green, which, why would you do that? Because green is the best color ever. But if you wanted to go from being green to white in your imagination, you want your block full of white cars for some reason just because it look cool in your imagination, do that. Experience that. Get into the habit of being fulfilled by your desires in your head. Don't look for fulfillment of your desires out here in 3D, because it's going to fail you every time. And then you're going to get disappointed. And then you're going to get frustrated. You're going to be like, why is this not working? It's because you're not doing it up here. You're waiting for it down here. But anyway, this video was mad long, but I thank you for rocking with me. If I actually upload it, I'm probably going to upload it because I said a lot of stuff and I think it's cool. But shout out to y'all. Shout out to my subscribers that are still here, because I lost a lot of subscribers, but I also gained a lot of subscribers. So shout out to y'all for hanging with me. I cannot promise that I'll be consistent, but if I do post, it's gonna be something. It's not gonna be no BS. So thank you. I can't believe I got my hair looking like this. Well, whatever. Thank you. Let me know what you want me to talk about next, because I be needing ideas. I have a million ideas, but I want to know what y'all want to hear about. I have other manifestation stories, other things that I can talk about, other videos I can talk about, advice, all that. Just let me know. Put it in the comments and I'll get right back with you. Thank you.